All right, now we come to the main part of our luncheon. Today I'm privileged to introduce our speaker, Joe M. Turner. Keep it short? Oh no. Joe M. Turner, no. That's too short. Magician, mentalist, and professional speaker Joe M. Turner is the Chief Impossibility Officer and one of America's premier corporate entertainers and speakers. He's entertained prominent elected officials, sports speakers, celebrities, and corporate leaders. He's been featured in numerous television, radio, and print appearances, including Good Morning America, Nightline, and CNN Headline News. Please welcome Joe M. Turner, America's corporate magic communicator.
All right, great. It's so awesome to be with all of you today. I live in Paulding County. I have for the last 5 years and change. So it's an honor to be invited to speak in my own backyard. I know what some of you must be thinking. Some of you have seen me recently, and when can we get rid of this guy? He's everywhere. And some of you have no idea who I am other than what you just heard, and maybe you saw the website and say, well, he's a magician. What in the world does a magician have to do with a business association, small businesses? So I'll illustrate with a little story. I don't know how many of you are following my Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Turner Magic. Turner Magic. And this morning I put out a tweet, and it was something that one of my clients just got an email this week for an event that happened Monday night. This was the year they had the 5th annual Winter White Party. So it's a big party down at the Georgian Terrace Hotel, and everyone wears white from head to toe, and there's snow and drinks and food and a band, and this year they had like the thing that hangs like a trapeze. People sort of, dancers pose on that. They gymnastics almost, but with music and everything underneath. And they had another one where there are these 2 long strips of cloth hanging down, and a girl climbs up it and wraps her legs in. It's like gymnastics, but hanging over a dance floor. And they had a pianist and songs and music and this giant party with about 600 people. And so the client, and they had me doing magic. They had me doing magic there. The client got an email Tuesday from CBS Radio, who had people attending this particular party. It said, just want to tell you the Winter White Party was amazing, especially Joe Turner's magic. Okay, so out of all of that stuff that they had experienced, the thing that stuck in their mind enough to mention in writing about how great the party was the magic. And I'm not saying that to brag, but what I'm saying is that branding was very successful for me because they remembered my name, they remembered what I do, and I was prominent enough in their experience of that event with all of the people that were there. It went from 9 at night till about 3 in the morning. Huge event. Out of all of that, what they were able to piece together in their minds the next day was, gosh, that guy was doing some really cool magic tricks. That's what they remember. And so that is what people like me, magicians, speakers, performers, have in common with small business owners. And that is we are in the business. We are in the shared business of creating amazing experiences for our customers, our clients, our audiences, whoever they may be. It could be clients, they could be retail customers, they could be online customers, they could be audience members. If you're a teacher, your audience could be your students. If you're in a corporation, your audience could be your direct reports. Your other audience could be the people that you report to. But all of us have an audience, and all of us are in the business, or should be, of trying to create reasons for them to remember how amazing it is to interact with us or with our brand. And so that's what I have been focused on really for the last year. And that's where the keynote that I now deliver, which is a much longer keynote than I have time to give you today, but I'm going to give you the skeleton of it today, is, well, what constitutes an amazing experience? And how can I use that to make my customers and my audiences remember who I am and what I do more effectively? So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Now, you know that I do magic tricks, so I'm going to start. I don't have a PowerPoint slide for you today. We're going to have an interactive experience. It's going to be fun. Some of you came thinking we're just going to have a magic show. So yes, I'll do that part. I want us to have some fun experiences. So we're going to do that for a few minutes. And then afterwards, we're going to debrief those experiences and find some of the elements that make those experiences amazing. And we'll talk about why that is so and how you can benefit from it. So, did anyone in the room happen to bring a deck of cards? I always ask, because you never know. Sometimes people do. I've had ladies pull them out of their purse. It's like, let's make a deal, you know, maybe, who knows what she has in there. But she pulls out a deck of cards, that's cool. I did bring a deck of cards in case nobody else did. These people were suspicious. They say, well, they're like magic cards or something. These are from CVS. Okay, I stopped at a CVS and got some cards. And the way we're going to do this, I'm going to have some people choose cards. But just in case you're still suspicious that, well, maybe the cards are marked, I'm going to drop them like this, and you're going to look at the card on the face wherever you say stop. And that way, there's plenty of cards blocking me from being able to see the back of that card. So even if they were marked, I couldn't know what the card is. I will have to step away from the mic briefly to do this. I'm going to ask someone at each table to choose a card, and I'll start right over here. It was Adam?
Yes, sir.
Adam, please say stop anywhere.
Stop.
That'll be your card. Remember it. Others at the table, make sure we don't forget that card. I'm going to come back in a few minutes. And if you forget the card, I have no ending. So it's critical, mission critical. Then you remember the card. Feel free to write it down and jot yourself a note. And we'll come on over to this table. Hi, I'm Joe.
Hi, I'm Leah.
Leah, please say stop anywhere.
Stop.
That'll be your card, Leah.
Perfect.
Very good. Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. So that's 2 cards. It's already twice as hard as a regular card trick. I'm going to go further than that. I know the Paulding Business Association has very high expectations for today. I intend to deliver and even exceed. And we've got Jeremy. Please say stop anywhere, sir. Stop. That'll be your card. And those at your table will help you with that. Got it?
Okay, got it.
Very good. I was just waiting for that flash to happen. I saw John taking aim. How about Kim? Please say stop anywhere.
Stop.
That'll be your card. I'm looking away. Got it?
Okay.
Those others at the table will have that. How about you? Is it Craig?
Scott.
Scott? What's the last name?
Flanagan.
Flanagan. Scott Flanagan. Say stop anywhere.
Stop.
That'll be your card.
Yeah.
So we'll do 2 at that table, but just for good measure. And how about Deanna? You're in the back over there. Please say stop anywhere. Just say stop while I'm doing that, okay?
Stop.
That'll be your card. 3 hearts. I'm just helping. We'll come back to it if you can't say Matt. Say stop anywhere.
Stop.
That'll be your card. Got it? Got it?
Yep.
For those at home, that'll be Matt's card. All right. Very good. So how many? Raise your hand if you have a card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. 7 times as hard as a regular card trick. I will attempt to find all 7 of the cards in amazing and magical ways, working this room into an emotional frenzy. You thought it was just a card trick. In fact, a life-changing holiday magical experience with a deck of cards from CVS. I'll tell you what, by the way, nobody's card is on top. Nobody waited to the very, very top of the card, to top of the deck to say stop. And nobody's card is on the bottom. I'm not dealing off the bottom. They say the magician just has, he's dealing off the bottom. There's no cards. Nobody stopped at the very, very bottom. So 7 cards. I'm going to move back up here so everyone can see. And we'll work our way back around. Dad, do you remember what your card was?
Yes.
Don't say it out loud just yet. Just watch the deck. I'll just give the deck a gentle touch with my hand, and one card magically flips over so that it is facing the audience. Just one card flips over so that it is facing the audience. One card flips over in the middle. What was your card?
2 of clubs.
That's the one. I'm sensing some skepticism. Let's just spread this so you guys can see. There's one card face up in the middle of the deck. It is the 2 of clubs. Wouldn't lie to you for anything. And please hold your applause. Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. That brings me to Deanna. It was the 3 of hearts, which is strange because I know I saw a 3 of hearts in this deck. But before I walked in here today, I had a feeling someone might choose this 3 of hearts, and I put one in my pocket, which, strangely enough, is the same card that Scott had was the 3 of hearts as well, correct?
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
Yes.
This is on camera.
Incorrect.
Really? What was your card?
10 of spades.
It's close. Just change the ink on the 3 of hearts. So like that. That sound is like, oh, he's good. I already told you where the 3 of hearts is. That's the one that I put in my pocket to start the show. So now we've got 3 cards. Now we've got the 10 and the 3. Kim, did you have the 10 of spades or the 3 of hearts?
No.
Neither of those? Well, we'll leave the 10 and the 3 over here. And what was your card? Let's just throw one up in the air and catch it mid-air between those two. And it is, in fact, the King of Hearts. That's the one you said. We have 3 cards left to go. I think it was Jeremy. Do you remember what your card was?
5 of clubs.
The 5 of clubs. An excellent choice. To find the 5 of clubs, you'll need to focus on my leg. Some of you already were. Thank you. Appreciate that. 5 of clubs. 5. I should have put some money on that one. And that brings me back to Leah. Do you remember what your card was?
King of spades.
King of spades. To find the King of spades, I need complete silence, which, if you've seen me act, you know I often get. Silence. I'm sorry, the King of spades. Okay, the King of spades. King of spades? That's the one? And one more to go. One more to go. Don't tell me yours, Adam. You've thought about yours longer than anyone else, which means it is burned into your mind. I will extract it by whatever means necessary. Let's just visualize the card floating in the air in between us. Just imagine it hovering right here. And I can see it, and I'm getting a sense that it is a rectangular card. Is that correct? Yes. I used to be a management consultant. We start by observing the obvious. It's a red card, and I'm getting a sense that it is a diamond. So if you watch carefully, left-handed, one card leaps from the deck, flies through the air, lands on my outstretched fingers. That's cool even if it's wrong. What was the card?
The Jack of Diamonds.
The Jack of Diamonds. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack of Diamonds. 7 cards for our... All right, well that's an interesting way to open a magic show, and it kind of goes contrary to popular wisdom among magicians, who often say, never open with a card trick. But I say, it's my show, I'll open however I want, and I like to open with a card trick. And I'll tell you why I open with this particular kind of experience. I'll just put these away. This experience we just had is amazing. There's several things in play. First of all, whenever I perform this particular routine, people walk away saying things like, sure would like to have you with me in Vegas, wouldn't want to play cards with you, you sure know your way around a deck of cards, you can make that deck do anything you want. Most of those comments relate to just highly developed skill, right? Some of the things that you saw happen right there had nothing to do with impossibility. They had nothing to do with laws being broken or anything like that, laws of nature being broken. It was just, obviously, this guy has practiced. This guy's put in some sweat, he's got some talent, he's got some skill, and he's worked to put it together. So in a magic context, we say those kinds of things are amazing because they are a demonstration of talent over demonstration of highly developed skill. The business competency side of it, the other side of the coin, the thing that you would apply if you want to have an amazing experience like that for your clients, is a high degree of expertise. A lot of people kind of hide their knowledge for a long time, not a long time, but they don't demonstrate it early on in their interactions with their client. They're protective of what they know, they're protective of their methodologies or the things that they know how to do that they don't put out early on in their discussions with their clients. Like, well, I have to protect some of these things until later. What I learned in consulting and what I've seen take place further and further along in my career is get that expertise out there early. Establish yourself as a thought leader or as a person who is a source of useful, consistently shared information early on, and create the knowledge that you are the expert. If I'm doing a proposal, I did a proposal for, not even a proposal, I had a company call me in to consult on a big illusion situation for an event that will happen in a couple of years. And they wanted some magic thinking behind it. And part of you was like, well, if I go in there and spill my guts, they're going to know all of my cool ideas, and how do I know I'll actually get to be involved with the project? Are they going to yank my ideas? And so a good rule of thumb is start by doing a tenth of the work. The proposal contains about a tenth of the work. So you're investing 10% of the overall finished product in getting the business. And if you lose it, you lose it. And if you get it, your 10% have already started. But the proposal, the early interaction, is about a tenth of the work, if not more. And the rest of it is you start out early and you take away that feeling. Have you ever seen someone come on stage and the minute they walk onto the stage, you're nervous because they don't have any confidence, or they're sort of withdrawn physically, their shoulders are down or tight, or they just don't inspire you to be confident as an audience member. And you're kind of worried about how is this going to go? And you make those decisions early on. Just like in business, you make your decisions about people you interview very early on in your interactions with them. This helps to mitigate that, because you're going to come out and demonstrate expertise early. And there's no way that you see a trick like that and say, oh, he's going to do a card trick. My uncle, Joe, does card tricks at our family reunion, and it deals like 16 piles on the table, and you take the square root of something, and it's a very process-driven thing. Nobody is ever going to equate what I just did with that kind of experience, because I showed them early on this is a level above what you're used to. So capture your expertise, share it regularly, and when you're interacting with a new client, maybe it's in your email signature, maybe it's in the first couple of interactions that you have with them, you're dropping tips on them that they can immediately put to use. That elevates you as an authority figure in their eyes and creates an amazing characteristic for your brand. We'll leave those aside for something else later. The next characteristic, the next kind of amazing, you've got talent, which is expertise in business. The next one in magic we call science. This would be an unexpected result of a natural law. And I don't have time to do all the demonstrations, but optical illusions that you may have seen in textbooks, or magic tricks that have to do with maybe a mirror or a spinning spiral that causes your eye to do something that you wouldn't otherwise see. All of these things that just work on the way that our eyes are put together are their unexpected results of maybe when you were in high school and you did physics or chemistry experiments that were kind of fun. Like you boil the water in a metal can and you seal it, and then you cool it, and the can implodes upon itself. It's an unexpected result of a natural law. That makes for an amazing experience in a magic show. Well, the science parallel in business is your processes. Your processes are your business's natural laws. And so the question is, if you want to have an amazing influence, an amazing impact on your audience, ask yourself, are there unexpected Easter eggs that come out of my regular processes? For example, your most boring interaction with your client may normally be, it could be invoicing, it could be a contract, it could be your voicemail. I was at a conference last year, and there's a woman named Tony Newman who is a great speaker on customer touch points and innovating the way you interact with your customers to have amazing experiences. And one idea she shares is this, your voicemail greeting. She changed her voicemail greeting, and it's not, "Hi, this is Tony, I'm in the office today, but I'm away from my desk. Please leave your name and number, and I'll call you back before the end of business today." Right? You've heard that 100 times. Her voicemail is, "Hi, it's Tony. Imagine we're having an amazing conversation. You go first." Beep. Now, she has completely innovated the way that customer even perceives the most trivial interaction with her. Just leaving her a voicemail becomes this sort of different experience. And she has many other stories along those lines, and I would encourage you to look her up on the internet. T-O-N-I, Tony Newman, and you can get more. And I'll be happy to tell you some others offline. But embed into your processes some amazing experiences that happen along the way. It could be that something that happens inside your contract, there's something fun that happens at the end of your emails, you share links or other interesting or useful information just as a natural course of interacting with people. Maybe you hide something somewhere that if they click on this, something amazing happens, but it's just built into the process. The next one down in a magic show, we would actually call the mystery, the breaking of natural laws, right? The apparent contradiction of a natural law. In the business world, we call that empowerment, right? We give our employees or our representatives the ability to contradict our policy in order to ensure that our customer has an amazing experience. The textbook example for this is Ritz-Carlton. Let's say that Leah has a presentation at Ritz-Carlton. She's speaking at a conference of banking conference of some kind. And her presentation is 11 a.m. And she's coming down the stairs, steps out of the elevator or whatever, and heel breaks on her shoe. And all the women are suddenly like, "Oh my God, not that." Anything else we can pretty much, the women, you can just see on their faces that that's a realistic fear. Janitor walks by and says, "How may I help you?" Miss Leah, I didn't get your last name? Mead. Miss Mead, may I help you? The heel on my shoe is broken. Give it to me, I'll take care of it. The janitor can go spend up to $100, maybe more, to have that shoe repaired and brought back to you in time for your presentation. And it will happen. They will move heaven and earth out of Ritz-Carlton to do whatever it is that you need. And so the edges of their policies are kind of fuzzy. It's like, this is what my job description is, this is what our policy is, but there's like $100 feathered edge around the end, where for $100, I can fix this person's problem and they walk away with an amazing experience at Ritz-Carlton that they will tell everyone they know for the rest of their lives. That's a small investment. And so every employee is empowered to break that rule and spend money that wasn't officially allocated. They don't have to get approval, they don't have to go through the regular channels. That is empowerment. They get to do that because the experience is more important than $100. And there's some discernment that takes place along the way. Fine. But here the question for you is, are the people who represent you, or are you as the owner, leader, manager of your own company, have you got some fuzzy edges around the policy so that you have the ability to make decisions on a case-by-case basis to make sure this person has an amazing story to tell about your company? So that when they go back to the person that recommended you to them, they tweet like the Winter White Party. We had 600 people there. We had a great time at your amazing event, especially fill in your brand. Right? You want to stand out. So you build that into the way that you do your business. The last two, and I'm going to wrap up with just a quick demonstration of this, have to do with a different branch of magic. And just for the sake of demonstration, this isn't a card trick. Obviously, I didn't bring big props today. I didn't come to do the whole song and dance. What I wanted to give you was a magical experience, but with a back end that you could actually take out and apply as you're thinking about you planning your businesses for next year. So this is something, I need two people to help me with this. And how about Tammy? Could I ask you to help me? You come over here. And Maria, do you mind just over here? You're close. You're like the closest one. So Tammy, you come right here. Maria, you come right here. And you're not going to have to do anything silly, I promise, I promise, I promise. People are so nervous about magicians, and I totally understand that. So I'm not going to make you do anything that's silly. I have a list of 10 items. These are 10 images that have to do with like Christmas time, holiday season. So I'd like you to think of a number from 1 to 10. Don't tell me what it is. Have you got one?
Yes.
Okay, and I'd like you to do the same, but I want to ensure that we don't get the same number by accident. So we're going to just even odd. Will you even or odd?
Even.
You be odd. Choose an odd number. Okay? And that way, we'll get 2 different things at random, but they can't possibly be the same thing, so I get to do this twice. That's the whole thing. So I want you to look at the list, remember what's at your number, don't say it out loud. Got it? Got it?
I don't have my glasses.
Okay, got it? Very good. Remember what's at your number. Got it? 10 different things. These are sort of vague. This other list has those 10 items focused into something specific. And they've been scrambled up so they're not in the same order, but I'm going to read these out. And what you're thinking of will relate to one of these items. You understand? When you hear the specific picture, I want you to lock it in your mind. Don't say anything out loud, just lock it in your head. Christmas carolers, a keepsake ornament, candy cane, mistletoe, Bethlehem, Christmas cards, sleigh and reindeer, Christmas tree lights, wrapping paper, eggnog. Does one of those relate in some way to what you were thinking about?
Yes.
Does one of those relate to someone? So this is not a card trick. This is not pick it out and sleight of hand and all that. All we're going to do right now, I'm going to try to get into their heads. So if you'll hold your right hand out, if you'll hold your left hand out, and imagine in your hand that you're holding whatever that item is that you're thinking of right now. Or if it's too big or too small, imagine you have a version of it that would fit in your hand. And I'm just going to try to get a sense of the item that they're thinking of off of that list of Christmassy images. And I will tell you that the first sensation that I got is a difference between something that is more organic, something that is more natural on one side, versus something that is more man-made on this side. I got something that is more of a... Well, let's start over here. This is something that is man-made, and as I wave my hand over your hand, Maria, I get a sort of a taste in my mouth that is peppermint. And in fact, it is a candy cane that you're imagining in your hand. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yes, that was perfect. Stay right there. Hold your applause, because it's really good at the end. And so I've got one. Let's see if we can get the other one. Let's see if we can get the other one. And I would say, Tammy, that you are thinking of something... it's green, and it's leafy, and it's mistletoe.
Oh, good grief. Yeah.
Yeah, give these guys a big round of applause. That is a demonstration of a branch of the illusion arts known as mentalism. Mentalism has to do with psychological experiences instead of visual. So instead of cards flying through the air or things disappearing or reappearing and all of that, it has to do with things that happen in your head. Mind reading, ESP kinds of experiences, which I don't believe in those officially, but theatrically, I think it's a great premise for an amazing experience. It's good theater. So the fourth kind of amazing experience on stage, in magic we call it contact. The ability to perceive information in another person's head. Or possibly the opposite. Instead of a pull version, the ability to insert a thought into someone's head. The push version. Okay? Though that in mentalism is what we would call telepathic experiences. Telepathy, mind reading, and so on. And that's what we sort of demonstrated right here. The business version of contact is communication. And the question for you is, how fast can I compress the space from the time my client reaches out to me to the time they hear from me? And the faster that happens, the more amazing the experience is. Let me tell you why. I was asked to perform at the American Family Insurance booth at the Best of Atlanta party the last couple of years. This year, I was headed down to go to the event, tweeted out, looking forward to working at the Best of Atlanta trade show booth for American Family. 20 minutes later, I get a tweet back from their headquarters in Chicago. Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. It was up there in Wisconsin. It says, "Have a great time at the booth. I'm sure it'll be fantastic." So somebody was paying attention to things that were being said, comments that were being made, questions that were being asked about them. Social media obviously is a major part of that nowadays, but that's just the current version, right? It used to be newspapers or employee newsletters and television reports and radio. Now it's social media. And so the ability for you to hear about and respond to things very quickly, that time gets faster and faster and faster. The quicker it is, the more, when I got that tweet, it was like you want to look around and see. You understand technologically how it could happen, but you can't believe someone's actually paying attention. Paying attention is the closest you can get to reading someone's mind. And so make sure they know that you're paying attention. Answer quickly. The quicker you respond to an email, but especially if they send something out on Twitter, Facebook, or any of the locally Paulding.com, any of the online places, carve out time every day to monitor that. Set up your alerts systems on Google Alerts and other platforms that you can use. That is so critical because the amazing experience is people will tell others about how quickly you responded. The last version, the last kind of amazing, and I'll wrap this up because it's 5 till, is what we call, in magic, it's the predictions. I make a prediction that something's going to happen. I knew you were going to choose the 3 of hearts, and therefore I made this prediction earlier today. And so it's the ability to have knowledge at a distance. Instead of a telepathic knowledge, it's a clairvoyant knowledge. I know at a distance I can tell you what's in your glove compartment. And you don't even know that. But if I got it right, it would be amazing. Same thing with if I know something that's going to happen in the future. None of us are there to give it to me. But if you can still get that knowledge at a distance temporally, it's vision. The business version of that is trend setting, trend spotting and trend setting. And so here's what Steve Jobs has to say about that. Only back up in the 90s, Peter Drucker said the best way to predict the future is to create it. Right? Oh, that's very powerful. Steve Jobs later said something very similar to that, and I'll close momentarily. He said, he was asked, how do you know what your customers want? Right? So part of it is trend spotting. How do you anticipate what your customers are going to want? And his response is, a lot of times they don't know what they want until I tell them. So he moved from trend spotting to trend setting. Right? It's amazing to be a trend spotter. It's even more amazing to be the person who tells them what the trend is going to be. And there's all kinds of reference materials and books and CDs you can buy about why things go viral and how to manipulate those things to your advantage. But that's the backside version of the magic experience in business, is being perceived as not only knowing what my customers are thinking right now, but what are they going to want in the future, and I'm already there. I'm already there shelling it out to them, dealing it out to them, even before they know they want it. I tell them what they want. That's a great place to be. So those are 5 kinds of amazing experiences in magic, and the 5 parallels of those experiences that you can use in your own work as you plan what you're going to do in 2013 to create amazing experiences for your own audiences. As I wrap up, I will tell you that book is in process. This is a somewhat smaller book that came out 2 weeks ago. It's called High Joltage. This is a book of little bullet points, 101 tips on creating amazing experiences with your personal brand or your professional brand. Plus a chapter at the end on what I feel are some great tips on networking effectively, not just in business associations and chambers, but in other types of networking settings as well. And so this is just the first in a series. They are $8 on Amazon. They're $5 on Kindle, and I have these today. I have a few. These are $5. I'll give it to you for the Kindle price today, and I'll be happy to stick around afterwards and share that with you. If there are no questions, My name is Joe Turner. Thank you for your attention and for coming out today. Thank you.